This week the government delivered its response to the Defence Strategic Review. This is a consequential time for our nation. The Defence Strategic Review describes the challenges that we face and tackles them head on. It addresses how we should respond as a department and what we should prioritise to optimise our deterrence capability. The Defence Strategic Review was conducted independently. The government has now had a chance to consider its recommendations and deliver their response. These are our orders. The Secretary and the CDF are now developing plans to implement these orders. We'll hear more from them in the coming weeks. This will bring change, but the change is both positive and necessary, and in many respects a natural next step. And it will bring a strong focus on integration. Our Air Force strategy has guided the development of air and space power as part of an integrated force. But there are still barriers in our organisation that undermine our transition to an integrated force. In an integrated force, we'll have a common sense of purpose, irrespective of where we sit in the organisation. In an integrated force, our air and space power contribution will be measured as a defence output, not as an Air Force output. In an integrated force, we'll be equally invested in the capability outcomes of all domains. I am genuinely excited about the acquisition of nuclear-powered submarines for our Navy because I value the deterrence capability they'll provide for our entire force. And in an integrated force, our instinct will be to build teams and deliver integrated capability across domains concurrently. It doesn't mean that we don't recognise the value and the unique contribution that we make as air and space power specialists. I am an aviator. I love being an aviator. I am incredibly proud to serve as an aviator in the Royal Australian Air Force. Our greatest contribution to Australia's national security will be the knowledge, skills and experiences that we have in generating air and space power. But we apply these skills and attributes to achieve an integrated warfighting advantage. For that reason, I've directed the Deputy Chief of Air Force to review our Air Force strategy to ensure the way we think and talk about generating air and space power is completely aligned to Defence's integrated approach. Similarly, I've directed a review of our Air Force, our culture. It's not to drive cultural change, but rather to drive alignment, because that's important to an integrated force. Internal to Air Force, we will continue our efforts to strengthen our readiness, resilience and resourcefulness. These remain my priorities, and they absolutely reinforce our implementation of the Defence Strategic Review. Last week, the Air and Space Board agreed to execute Plan Mullion. Under the Air Commander's leadership, Plan Mullion will drive improvements and reduce duplication in the internal structures of our force element groups. We also endorse concepts to manoeuvre air power across our northern bases. This is about creating capability bricks able to disperse and survive in contested environments, improving our readiness and strengthening our resilience. In parallel, we resourced an initiative to review our command and control arrangements across the north, to set the C2 arrangements we need for crisis and conflict now. We'll have an opportunity to exercise these arrangements later in the year. These are changes that we have initiated, but they'll support our implementation of the Defence Strategic Review. We're on the right path. It's now time to take the next step. We need all of you with us on the journey. The Warrant Office of the Air Force and I plan to step up our communication to ensure that you understand what is happening over the next weeks and months. Because we need you pulling in the same direction, and because we know that we'd benefit from your feedback and ideas.
We have been tasked by our government to evolve, refocus and effect change. This change will affect every aviator in the Air Force domestically and abroad, along with our APS and industry partners. Not one of us is immune from this change, whether it be a philosophical one around the way we think of ourselves as warfighters, all the way to the changes in our professions, and indeed down to where we conduct our work as an individual, section, unit or group level. Your leadership team are here to direct, guide and support you through this evolutionary change, all the way from the Office of the Chief of Air Force to your section leads. Leadership and communication at every level will be vital for us to successfully realise and enact the direction of our government. As aviators, it is critical that we consider the effect of change on our families and loved ones. I implore you, please, to keep them informed as to what is going on within our organisation. Acknowledge the effect these changes may have upon them, as they are in service of their country, as you are. It is an exciting time to be in Air Force, executing the profession of arms in service of our nation. I am proud to be an aviator in today's Air Force.
Throughout our history, Air Force has overcome extraordinary challenges to deliver air and space power for our national security. It's demanded considerable courage, dedication and skill, as it will again. I know we're up for it. Per ardua ad astra.